Previously, we have defined a complex prompt for Perplexity. Here, we can skip it entirely and say that our model will decide what to put here. So the prompt will be, you can think about it as subagent. The prompt for this perplexities will be defined by our AI agent.
Nice.
Okay, what other tools does it needs? I will keep those two nodes just so, because there is nothing to think about. If an agent creates a report, converting Markdown to HTML, it can be done by an LLM, but this is wasting token, wasting cognitive abilities. So for those reasons, in this version, I will once again just use the agent output and convert it to HTML and send the message. Later we will add more agents. Okay, but we have not told the agent what we expect it to do. So to do that, let's open an agent, define the system prompt, which is an extremely important part of the
Yeah, when it
agent.
comes to building agents, the system prompt is like the most important thing.
So, and I also prepared the prompt previously, so I will just explain it. So you are a market researcher. Your goal is to find competitor insights published within the last 30 days, what to focus on. So the objective for the agent to pursue. And many people, when building agents, do it like this, that we define reasoning steps. So step one, instead of doing it in NAN, when we mapped the process, we map it in English. So step one, read competitors stored in a Google Sheet. Then for each competitor, use Perplexity to find relevant information. It will have to decide what the prompt should be. Step three, from the responses, take only citations and content to compress the context. So it creates this temporarily artifact and doesn't focus on all the other information that comes from Perplexity. And create a final report, use Markdown formatting, and follow other instructions. So this is the second section, how to reason. And the last is report formatting. And I just copied it from the previous version. And as you know, the previous version, the formatting was generated by ChatGPT. So there is not much to think about here. Formatting, links rules, content guidance, this is all generated and example. It is all generated by an LLM. I just added this additional section, report formatting, so that it is wrapped in the dedicated section. Okay, and let's try to, and one more thing, this is a good practice. We probably don't need it now, but I would like to demonstrate it already. By default, NAN agents can do no more than 10 iterations. So if it has a lot of tools and some of the tool calls might fail, each tool call will be an additional iteration. And if it iterates too much, it will just stop without achieving the objective. So for that reason, I usually put the number 30 here. So it means that we'll just keep iterating. And even with a lot of tool calls, it will not stop prematurely. Okay.
Makes sense.
And save, just to make sure that we do not lose the progress. And let's execute this workflow.
So it's a pretty basic agent workflow with that sub-agent that you mentioned because it's determining its own prompt for that step.
Yeah, that's an agentic element here. Deciding, calling the right tools and deciding what the prompt should be.
The other one wasn't agentic because it was all defined, even though it had a system prompt.
This is, yeah.
The other one is what we call a workflow, and this is an
I call
agentic
those,
workflow.
this is a standard workflow. It, of course, it can have switches, it can check some conditions, it can have loops, but this doesn't really differ much from everything that we have been doing for years when automating different processes. The only difference here is using this LLM node, which is about sending text to LLM and getting a response. And similarly, Perplexity, this is like an external service. You don't even have to think about that there is an LLM inside, but there is an LLM inside. Yeah, for me, this is not agentic at all. This is just a workflow with an LLM. This one is more agentic, although the agency is pretty limited here. Okay, it didn't send the message for some reason, but let's see what the agent did. By the way, we can see it in logs. So here we have full breakdown of everything that happened. The first, it got our request, then it decided to call Google Sheets Then with those Google Sheets, as we see, it already has information about competitors in the prompt. And then it called Perplexity. If we look at the times and time start, starting time and end time, those calls were done in parallel, not sequentially. And we have this final call where it gets all the information, the list of competitors, results for Perplexity. This is quite a lot of text. And it generated this report. Okay, what is the difference? The previous execution was about 5,000 tokens. And like I tested it before, we can test it later, but it's like 30, 40 seconds. Here, because it is more agentic, it is 1.5 minutes and 12,000 tokens, and we will pay for every token.
Wow. Huge difference in cost. So that little bit extra setup,
Yeah.
you really reap the results on token cost and time it took.
Yeah. And yeah, it failed because I need to fix this field. So instead of using, probably the field is called differently, maybe like this. Let me ping this data and try it again. Okay, and here, if I run it again, it has sent the message.
There we go. It's a live podcast, guys. Sometimes there are errors.
Yeah, it would be suspicious if there were no errors at all. Let me check my inbox. Okay, it didn't send the message. The message was empty, like you see here. So let's take the correct HTML report from the previous node.
You can just drag it like that.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that short clip. You can check out the full episode here.